I'm Nancy Showalter, and you're listening to Spirituality for the Politically Incorrect podcast. Welcome, all radical paradigm shifters and creative change makers. You who dare to create a better life and a better world. Tap into the power that resides within you and use that power for constructive change. Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode. Two most powerful words in any language. So let's just get right to it. And what are those two words? They are I am. Now, why would I say that? Well, first, let's just look at the simple fact that we are the only species on the planet that has self-awareness and can say, I am. Not only can we say I am, but we can follow those two words with all kinds of declarations. I am beautiful, I am wonderful, or I am sick, I am tired, I am broke, whatever we want. We have that free will choice. There is no other species. Yes, all of life has intelligence, but not self-awareness as man does. Now, the scriptures also say that we are made in the image and likeness of God. Well, God is the one power, the one source of all creation. And when he speaks those words, I am, this unique, individualized presence comes into being. And that is you and me. And we have that portion of us that is divine, perfect, and remains in the highest spiritual levels while our soul incarnates into the physical world. I want to read from some of Saint Germain's teachings from the book The I Am Discourses. Now, if you're not familiar with Saint Germain, he's an ascended being who appeared in the 1920s and 30s to Guy Ballard and eventually started giving teachings through Guy and Edna Ballard, and they were the founders of the I Am movement. This was kind of the beginning of the conscious awareness of the masters giving their teachings through amanuensis, messengers, and those who wrote down those teachings or spoke the words. Now, in the I Am Discourses, which is by Saint Germain, he's discoursing on the I Am. He can say it much more profoundly than I can. He says, life in all its activities everywhere manifest is God in action. Now, those alone is a powerful statement. And you might say, well, wait a minute. There's all kinds of things happening on this planet that are not necessarily God in action. Well, what he's saying is all things are God in action because there is only one source, God. That is that source of energy that from all things that are created. Now, he created us with free will, meaning we are equal to him when it comes to the ability to make choices and to create. And he gave us dominion over this plane of existence. And so here we are. Yes, everything is God in action manifest. We have made some wrong choices, and we have what we have in this condition now on the planet. So life and all its activities everywhere manifest is God in action, and it is only through lack of the understanding of applied thought and feeling that mankind is constantly interrupting the pure flow of that perfect essence of life, which would, without interference, naturally express its perfection everywhere. Now, I have talked in the past about various life waves that incarnated on this planet, and we have been told by the masters that there were 3 life waves, they call them root races, that embodied on the planet imperfection. And they did not interrupt this perfect flow, pure flow of perfect essence of life. They did their outpicturing of their purpose for their existence, and they multiplied the light and the mastery that God originally endowed within them. And then they returned and merged back to that I am permanently to be an ascended master. It's called a ritual of the ascension. So Saint Germain says the natural tendency of life is love, peace, beauty, harmony, and opulence. For life cares not who uses it. In other words, God is no respecter of persons. He floods forth this energy continually, and we have the choice and the opportunity as to how we qualify, how we use that energy. He says, life cares not who uses it, but is constantly surging to pour more of its perfection into manifestation, always with that lifting process, which is ever inherent within life itself. That is inherent in life itself. Now, he goes on to talk about what happens, or what can happen. He's talking about the I am. He says, I am is the activity of that life. How strange it is, he says, that students with sincere interest do not seem to get the true meaning of those two words. When you say and feel I am, you release the spring of eternal, everlasting life to flow on its way unmolested. In other words, you open wide the door to its natural flow. When you say I am not, you shut the door in the face of this mighty energy. He says I am is the full activity of God. Having placed before you so often the truth of God in action, I wish you to understand its first expression in individualization. And this is what I was talking about at the beginning. The first expression of every individual, everywhere in the universe, either in spoken word, silent thought, or feeling, is I am. When we have that recognition of I am, as I said earlier, we have individualized conscious awareness. He says, whether either in spoken word, silent thought, or feeling, is I am recognizing its own conquering divinity. The student endeavoring to understand and apply these mighty yet simple laws must stand guard more strictly over his thought and expression, in word or otherwise. For every time you say, I am not, I cannot, I have not, you are, whether knowingly or unknowingly, throttling that great presence within you. This is just as tangible as if you placed your hands about the throat of an outer form. Only with the outer form, your thought governing the hand, you can release it at any time. But when you make a declaration using the words, I am not, you set in motion mighty, limitless energy that continues to act unless it is recalled and the imperfection consumed and transmuted. So in other words, when you say the words I am, these are my words now, you are calling forth that divine power of God within you, that portion of you made in the image and likeness of God, to create the condition by whatever you place after those two words. He continues, this shows you the enormous power you have to qualify this mighty energy of God. And I tell you, beloved students, dynamite is less dangerous, for that would but liberate you from your body, while these thoughts, sent forth ignorantly and ungoverned, bind you upon the wheel of re-embodiment indefinitely. Thus you can see how important it is for you to know what you're doing when you thoughtlessly use wrong expressions, because you are using the most divine principle of activity in the universe, I am. Do not misunderstand me. This is no idle, foreign, or oriental expression, but the highest principle of life used and expressed throughout every civilization that has ever existed, For the first expression of every self-conscious form of life gives is I am. It is only afterwards, in its contact with outer, wrongly qualified activity, that it begins to accept anything less than I am. He continues, now, dear students, do you not see that when you say I am sick, you are just reversing this principle of life, which is naturally all perfection, thus requalifying it by your willful ignorance with something which it never naturally possessed. So that word requalify is important because the energy coming forth, as already described, is that pure stream of the life force that is purity, joy, love, peace, all these things, and it's powerful. And if you qualify it with its same quality through your thought, feeling, and actions, then you're qualifying it. You're creating according to the higher will, your higher will, from your I am presence within you. If you misqualify it, meaning you take that pure stream of energy and you misqualify it through negative uses, such as anger, hatred, committing acts of violence, whatever it may be, we all know the ways that we can misqualify that energy. So our continual flow from our I am presence is what keeps us alive in this physical dimension. And when that life force is removed, we have what we call death, and the soul moves on. Saint Germain continues, through long centuries of willful misunderstanding, humanity has charged the very atmosphere about them with falsehood and unreality. For I need not say to you that when you say I am sick, it is an abject falsehood in respect to your divinity, which cannot be sick. Does this sound harsh to you? Then I say, think it over, and you will see what a blessing and release it can be to you. He says, stop, I say to you, giving power to the outer conditions, persons, places, or things. In the name of God, every time you find yourself starting to say, I am sick, I'm broke, I'm not feeling well, instantly reverse this fatal condition to your progress and declare silently with all the intensity of your being, I am, which is all health, opulence, perfection, happiness, peace, and the power to recognize perfection in yourself and everywhere else. When you think of the expression I am, it means that you know you have God in action expressing in your life. Do not let these false expressions continue to govern and limit you. Continually remind yourself, I live, move, and have my being, and all outer expression in the full opulence of God, made manifest every moment. And I'll repeat that powerful affirming of who you are. I live, move, and have my being and all outer expression in the full opulence of God, made manifest every moment. In thus reminding yourself of this invincible, unconquerable presence, you keep the door open for its pure, invincible essence and intelligence to weave into your outer expression that wondrous perfection. So the obvious question that comes into our human minds is, but what if I am feeling terrible? What if my finances are bad? What if I have a disease? Am I supposed to just pretend and say these words? Well, here's the concept. By making these affirmations, by affirming I am, and understanding that you're opening that door to the flow of the presence, you are merely stating the reality of your being, and you're not throttling that energy. That does not mean that you don't take action to improve things in the physical, because we have this karmic return of energy that's coming to us that creates different conditions, or maybe things we do in the physical create certain conditions. But here's the point. By decreeing I am this, I am that in a negative sense, whatever the outer condition is, you're solidifying it. It's like putting yourself in a prison that you can't get out of because you just created that prison. Where Saint Germain is saying, create the highest and purity flow of that God power within you. And then, yes, take action in the physical. If you go to a doctor, you work on your finances, you find a better job, you cut back your unnecessary spending, whatever it takes. So I think you can see this is the balance here of what you need to understand when making affirmations or decrees about your being. Remembering that I am, those are the most powerful words in any language. And to really connect and contact with that I am presence within you, try meditating upon your heart. That heart center chakra, it's an energy field. And that is where the I am presence anchors itself. That's where the spark of God is within you. Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. You don't have to go look everywhere else. This is my message for today. I hope that it is positive for you and that it can help you and each one of us to literally transform our lives. Thanks for being with me today, and I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, keep an open mind, a generous heart, and a powerful spirit. Thank you for being with me today, and if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, download, and comment. I'd love to hear from you, and your support is much appreciated. And don't forget, go to nancyshowalter.com to get your free electronic copy of my book, It's Okay to Be Rich, The Entrepreneur's Guide to Increased Wealth and Personal Mastery, endorsed by T. Harv Eker, and my free mini course, How to Speak Your Success, the shocking truth of how your words impact achieving your goals. I'll see you next week.